If you're a regular Fox 5 viewer, sort of in an effort for equal opportunity, last week we talked about how menopause can affect longevity, so today we're tackling low testosterone for men. Joining us with some new information is Dr. Sabrina Fabi. All right, Dr. Fabi, I've always heard testosterone both in men and women, but I've always heard it being more of an issue for guys, the sort of low T I feel like I hear on commercials. What are we talking about?
Well, testosterone, women aren't the only ones that are suffering from a decrease in hormonal levels as we age. Men are too, and actually testosterone levels start to drop by the age of 30 in men. So testosterone, which is usually considered the male hormone, is responsible for puberty in men, the external sexual characteristics of men, and also can impact overall males' moodiness. It can lead to weight gain if it's decreased, as well as a decrease in libido if testosterone levels are low. And then you can also see a decrease in muscle mass if testosterone levels are low. But testosterone doesn't only affect men, it also affects women. And it can also have similar effects in women. It can decrease libido in women. It also has an impact on bone health as well as muscle mass on women. And so it's something that can also be checked in women if you, for whatever reason, are experiencing some of these symptoms.
Okay, so you bring up a lot of good points there. How do you know if you have low testosterone versus, say, like you just packed down a couple extra pounds, which is then having some other effects, sleep, and you're not as, willing to do exercise, things like that?
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, for men specifically, if you're doing everything that you've generally been doing and you're gaining weight and you're noticing a decrease in your sexual libido, then yes, it's something that you may want to consult with your doctor because it is something that we start to experience to decrease by the age of 30. And in a large study that was recently published in the New England Journal of Medicine, what they found was that 14% of men actually experienced a decrease in testosterone that was significant by the age of 65. And this was associated with much more important things than just a decrease in libido, let's say, but also they noticed that these men tended to be more obese. They tended to have a higher incidence of heart attacks. And so it does have a greater impact on overall health if your testosterone is low.
All right, so what are some options that we can do both naturally and then if we want to, are there shots or pills or something like that that people can take?
Well, it's presently not FDA approved for the treatment in women who experience a decrease in testosterone, but there are things that you can do like increasing your sleep. Since this is regulated by the adrenal gland, if you don't have necessary sleep, then you are going to see a decrease in your testosterone. Also, an increase in physical activity by walking briskly 20 to 30 minutes a day. This will increase your testosterone levels. And then also decreasing your stress, because again, stress has an impact on the adrenal gland. And if you are stressed, you have increase in cortisol levels, which will also decrease your testosterone levels. And also regulating your weight. When you are a little bit more overweight, you have greater fat cells. Fat cells make estrogen, and this will offset the ratio of estrogen and testosterone, which can also lead to the effects of a low testosterone effect.
All right, before I let you go, Dr. Fabi, any side effects for people if they decide to take testosterone and maybe they want some of the effects, but they don't really necessarily have low T as it's categorized?
Well, you have to be careful. You should always consult with your internal medicine doctor to make sure that you are a candidate for it. Some people take DHEA as a supplement, which can be converted to testosterone in the body, because if you do have high levels of testosterone or you're taking too much, you can lead to agitation. And some people who are at risk for prostate cancer or who have prostate cancer, it can actually worsen or make that tumor more aggressive. So you have to be very careful and consult with a doctor before you decide to start supplementing yourself.
Always good advice. Dr. Fabi, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jen.